Chris.
Oh yeah.
One of the most popular questions is, how do I get into scouting? Can you answer that one?
Okay. Well, when I think of the scouts at our club, and I work for a big academy, a Premier League club, they're coming from lots of different routes actually. You've got ex-players who know the game, can demonstrate they know the game and have the network. You have people who are very active in local football and then want to make the step across to scouts. Again, that's a type of network. And most of the big clubs now will advertise jobs on their websites, for good recruitment practice. But let's presume that you don't have those ins or that you need to build your experience. You're starting from virtually nothing. I think the smaller clubs you could ask if they need anyone to volunteer. The bigger clubs are less likely to do that because you do run into issues if you have volunteers about quality control, about code of practice, and about training and so on. It can be a little bit difficult, but you could start as a volunteer. And one of the ways that you can show people that you know the game is to do some reports, is to watch a game off TV or watch a game live and write a scouting report on a player or a team. You have to decide what sort of scouting you want to do, because there's grassroots scouting, there's academy scouting, looking at other academies, there's first team scouting, which covers from non-league upwards, and there's opposition scouting, all sorts of different scouting. Now you could go and study this, and obviously there's a lot of information on the internet about the different types of scouting. Sadly, there's not a really good book yet out there about scouting, about the whole range. But you can do some reports and show that you can analyse a player, strengths and weaknesses, and use that to build up a portfolio. So then you could approach a club and say, look, I want to get into scouting. This is my background in football. This is what I know. And these are some reports I've done on players. And if they're players at their level, for example, if you want to get started with a non-league club, which is a good place to start, looking at players or even at youth players for them, then you don't want necessarily doing reports off the TV of a Premier League game. So try and make it relevant to the level you want. If you want to go to an academy and get started, maybe a Cat 3, smaller academy, then show reports of doing players, players that might be of interest to them, local top leagues, for example. So you can build up your own portfolio in that way. The new generation, the Football Manager generation, I call them, because they play Football Manager game, should be comfortable with data, using data, and you've got the sports science degrees, some of which will have some elements of recruitment. But you've got to demonstrate to the club that you understand the game and that you can see a player's strengths and weaknesses. And so I would say, produce some sort of product, get that to them and demonstrate it by that way. That's the way.
Okay, thank you.